Welcome, you want to know how to get US American Netflix in Sweden? Then you found the right video. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do that. And of course, you will be able to watch much more movies and much more TV shows compared to the Swedish Netflix version. First of all, I'm going to show you the quick solution, and then I'm going to explain a little bit more how exactly it works. So if we try to access netflix.com in Sweden, what happens? We get redirected to the Swedish version, and here the language is already set to English because my Swedish is not very good. But if we go below, if you just want to change the language, here on the left you can change the language, by the way. But I'm leaving it to English because my Swedish is not very good. So why does Netflix send me to the Swedish page? Although I try to access the netflix.com page without the Swedish country filter, well, this is because at the moment I'm in Sweden, in Stockholm. This is based on my internet IP address, and that's how all websites know that I'm in Sweden right now, in Stockholm, and that's how Netflix knows to show me the Swedish page, because in Sweden they are only allowed to show me the stuff they have the rights for in Sweden. But there are tools to circumvent this. So below the video you find a list with services which let you enter the internet in any location, and you can click on show more to see the full list, or click on the title if you're on a mobile phone or tablet, or there will be an icon below the video on the right. But you can click on these links and then say go to site, and you will also find more information about Netflix and how this works. Here you can see you can access different locations in the world. By the way, these are paid services. I will talk about free services a little bit later on. If you go here on this products page, by the way, you will find all the software and all the apps and all instructions how to set it up wherever you want to use this on. So if you want to use it on your Apple TV, on your smart TV, or just on your phone, or just on your browser, or on your game console, you can set this up. And that's what I did here. Here is the software I set up. And at the moment I'm connected to Sweden also, because mainly it's a security and privacy service. So my internet connection is completely encrypted at the moment. So it's much safer in all circumstances because no one can see what I'm doing on the internet. But I can click here and then choose a different location. Usually it starts with recommended, that's why I'm showing you this, but I usually use all locations. And then here you can choose any region in the world. And of course, for the United States, we go to the Americas, and then here we could click on the United States, but I'm not going to do that because I want to show you a trick. So I'm not going to change my location now, because you should click on this arrow. And here you see all locations available in the US to access the internet via ExpressVPN, because if you only click on the United States, then you only use the USA New York location. There should be nothing wrong with this, but since many people do this, maybe this location will be a little bit overcrowded and overwhelmed at some times. And then some people write it's not working somehow, but they don't use different locations. So I'm going to just choose Tampa, and then it's reconnecting. And by the way, if one location is not working, or if it's slow, then try another one and another one. And if you have problems with several, then you can contact the support, because ExpressVPN also has a 24-hour support. So now I'm reconnected. So I have a direct link between my device here and the internet access point from ExpressVPN in Tampa, Florida. And they let me access the internet there, and everything between is completely encrypted. So just to check, by the way, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you that it works. So now here you can see now suddenly I'm in the United States, in Florida, Miami. And by the way, this is not GPS. GPS is satellite based. This is based on the internet access location. So if we go back to Netflix, by the way, if you are already logged into your Netflix in Sweden, you might want to sign out and also, if possible, clear your browsing data so Netflix doesn't get suspicious. But I'm leaving here the country filter and the language filter because Netflix actually doesn't care whatever you put in the browser bar, because they automatically notice where you are based on your IP address and then redirect you. So please have a look at the background, what kind of TV shows and movies are advertised here. I know it's not so easy to see, but you will see there will be a difference. Now you can see the background changed. Now here you have the Irishman instead of the pig. And here also in the address bar, there is no filter anymore. So I'm accessing the US Netflix page, the netflix.com page, without any country filter. That means I can use the US American Netflix now. And I'm going to show you that I can sign in. And as you can see, now I can access the US American Netflix. There I'm sure there are many TV shows and movies you cannot access in Sweden. I'm not exactly sure which ones, but there should be quite a lot. I'm talking about this a little bit later. Here you can see all the movies. It takes some time to load, but here I can access all of this, and you can see here my VPN is on and running, just to show you, because some people say it's not working somehow. So I think they just don't choose the right location, or I don't know what they do wrong, but it's working quite well. And I can access all the movies and all the TV shows and all the latest stuff from Netflix. So now you see that it's working. So let's talk about why use the US American Netflix. Of course, they have 2.5 times more movies in the US Netflix version compared to the Swedish version, and almost 4 times more TV shows in the US Netflix version compared to the Swedish one. So it really makes sense to use the US American Netflix. But although the US has the biggest Netflix media library, not all movies and TV shows are available in the US. Maybe you didn't know this before, but there are some TV shows and some movies which are not available in the US, and then it makes sense to use the UK version or the Canadian version or the Australian version to watch some TV shows or movies which are not available in the US. And with this tool, you can just choose any country within a few seconds and access the specific country Netflix version. So it really makes sense to use a VPN to widen your Netflix media library. Why does every country have a different media library on Netflix? Of course, because media CEOs still buy and sell rights by country. So Netflix has to negotiate with the media rights owners for every country how much they have to pay and what movies they can show, what TV shows they can show, and how much they have to pay for it. So that's why Netflix is producing so many TV shows and movies themselves to circumvent this problem, so they don't have to negotiate so much for every country. And by the way, this solution works no matter where you got your Netflix account. If you have a US American Netflix account and you are in Sweden, then without the solution you will only be able to watch the Swedish Netflix version. But with this solution, of course, you can watch all your usual TV shows and movies you are used to in the US. And if you have a Swedish Netflix account, you can also use this solution. You don't need a special extra account or something, because if you would travel to the US, Netflix would have to show you the USA Netflix version, because in the US they are only allowed to show what's negotiated in the US. And actually, with any other Netflix account, you can access any Netflix version in any country. And as I mentioned before, you can use this on any device you want to, on your smart TV, phone, and so on and so on. The problem is, if you're unprotected on the internet, every website can see quite a lot about you. I showed you that websites can see your relative exact location, and they can see much more about you. And this is how Netflix knows where you are. So basically you need a global internet service provider, and this is what ExpressVPN and other VPN providers offer you, but actually those are security and privacy and security companies which offer you a much safer internet, by the way. And the good thing is they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you could just try it for 1 month, but it's much more economical to choose the 12-month package. And if it somehow doesn't work for you within 30 days or you do not like it, you can get your money back. I have a separate video explaining how VPNs work exactly. I can tell you all big companies use virtual private networks to keep their company data private, but even for private persons it makes sense to improve your privacy and safety by encrypting your internet, because many places and people, companies and hackers and governments can spy on you if you're unprotected on the internet. But for most people, the most important part is that you can access any country internet and you can unblock geo-blocked content. In the US, they have a lot of TV channels and streaming services which you can unblock by using a VPN, and there are many other advantages. But of course, because of the encryption and rerouting you through a different server, it can slow down your internet a little bit. But premium VPN services should be quite fast. If you have a cheap or bad VPN, then you might notice a slowdown. And of course, if you're suddenly anonymous on the internet and access the internet from a completely different location, then you will get critical security alerts from Google and other services which usually keep track where you are. So be aware if you use a VPN and then try to log into your Google account. You will get a security alert if you're already logged in. Usually they don't send you a security alert, but if you just try to log in, they will tell you, hey, someone from the US is trying to access your Google account. Then you should know, okay, yeah, I was using the VPN to watch Netflix in the US, and then I tried to access Google, and that's why they tell me that someone tried to log in. In this example, by the way, I was logged into France, and that's why they sent me this info that someone in France tried to access my Google account. So don't be afraid. You should be aware that you're using the internet from a different location. And I'm very sorry, but I don't know any safe and free VPN that works with Netflix. Netflix does not want any person to access different country versions, so they made it more difficult to use a VPN. So mostly just premium VPN services work with Netflix, and also free VPNs are very dangerous, but I'm aware that you might not trust me, right? This is just a YouTube video, so please just Google it yourself, free VPN dangerous, before you try any of those. Stay safe. And the same goes with the Tor browser. Google Tor browser dangerous because, yeah, some people say they use Tor browser to access streaming sites, but you should be very, very aware of all the dangers. And you should know this from your own experience. For your local internet service provider, is it for free? I don't know, maybe there are some places in Sweden where it's free, but usually you have to pay something. And also for your mobile internet, usually you have to pay something. And the faster the speed, the higher the data volume, the more you have to pay. The same goes with premium VPN providers, because they have internet access locations in almost 100 countries, in 160 locations, and this costs some money. That's why it's not for free. And if it would be for free, they would have to spam you non-stop in order to somehow get the money in. They also have to develop the software and apps for all devices and keep it up to date non-stop. So this also takes a lot of time and effort to make very good software. But the good thing is you can use up to 5 connections at the same time. So either you can watch 5 things on Netflix at the same time, or you can share it with friends and family and maybe also share the price of using this VPN service. As I mentioned before, below the video I have a list with good VPN services, but my absolute favorite is ExpressVPN. You saw I'm using it myself, but you can click here on Show More to see the full list, or you can click on the title if you're watching on a mobile phone or tablet, or there will be an icon below the video on the right. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, please write a comment and tell me what I did wrong. And I hope now you know how to watch US American Netflix in Sweden. and get much more movies, much more TV shows. I showed you the proof that it's working. I'm using ExpressVPN to connect to the US and then watch US American Netflix in Sweden or any Netflix version in any country. Have fun watching.